Hello for the final time this season and welcome to YOKAYI Footy Shorts. My name is Megan Waters. I'm a very passionate Warramungu Yawuru woman and it has been a real privilege every week to share this desk with some great men, and it's great to welcome back for the final time this year my brother Andy Krakouer, proud Minang and Ingana man. Welcome back, brother.
Megsy, thank you very much. Great to see you, my sister, and it's been a long year, hasn't it? And we're finally here. Grand final weekend, and this man is certainly up and about. His team is making back grand final appearances. Chrissy Johnson, how are you, brother?
Oh, I'm well, brother. It's the best week, even when your team's not in it. Obviously, last year, both of our teams were in it. We sat there last year together. You got the win last year, but hopefully the Lions can get the win this year. Looking forward to this week. It's outstanding.
It is going to be great, but before we get into the game ahead, I want to look back to the games that were, and geez, wasn't a great weekend of prelim finals, When you get to this point in the season, your expectation with the quality of footy played and entertainment factor is a lot higher than what this one provided. Sydney really got the job done in the end. There were some real standout performances.
They were, and that's why they're on top of the ladder. They had the week off. They came out very, very fresh, and from the outget, they were dominating around the middle of the ground, up forward as well. So, you know, your Gould and your Heaney's were outstanding through the whole game. Warner popped up late and kicked a couple of goals, but overall, the Sydney Swans just took control of the game from the start, and look, it just wasn't the day for Port Adelaide. They just weren't able to get their game going at all, Crack. It was just a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it certainly was. And speaking about the struggles for Port Adelaide, this man created plenty of headaches. Isaac Heaney, best player in the competition. Unfortunately, won't be able to win the Brownlow, but certainly be around the mark. But what he's been able to do, he's got so many strings to the bow. He tackles, as we see here. He can take marks above his head. And they're not scared. This is what I love. They're not scared to kick it to him one-on-one. There was some plays that went straight down the centre as well from a kick out. They kicked it to him, and he's just an outstanding overhead as well, Jono.
He was sensational, and you know, the ability they go forward, and if they see a one-on-one with him, they go to him really, really quickly. And you know, he played his 200th game, Rampy 250th as well. So outstanding there by Heaney. He was a gun and always has been all of this year, and he misses out obviously on the Brownlow, but certainly the best player in the competition at the minute.
Which is so disappointing because really he would have just taken it the cake for sure with the Brownlow. But look, it is time to talk about what went down at the MCG on Saturday night. What a game this was. This was one of the great finals games for the ages. The Brisbane Lions taking on the Geelong Cats, and yeah, I was actually down watching this game in Richmond at one of the pubs, and the energy around town is absolutely buzzing at the moment, and for good reason. The Brisbane Lions just dominated in the end.
They did, and look, it was one of those classic prelim finals. I was there in the crowd, and this man here, Ollie Henry, he was outstanding. He kicked his 4 goals through the lines, and he comes up with the sealer here to put them 1 point in front, and it swung. I thought in the second quarter that Geelong were going to get away and just take the game away. But here, as we see, we don't know. Archie didn't know whether that was going to be a free kick and just took the advantage on himself, Kraken, and slotted that goal. He kicked 3 goals for the afternoon as well and only had 11 possessions, but an outstanding performance by the team all round.
Yeah, he's an absolute star, and I think he's really unheralded in that forward line, not within the walls of the Brizzy Lions. But speaking about goals and going to this week's YOKAYI moment, this man was an absolute star. Cam Rayner, number 1 draft pick. He took an absolutely huge hanger here, and his confidence was up and about. And it was, unfortunately, we should get Mark of the Year and go through the whole season because Isaac Heaney took an outstanding one as well in the first qualifying final. But this was to be able to seal the game. The YOKAYI moment on the left peg, if you don't mind, 51 metres out, and that sealed the deal for the Brizzy Lions to be able to get into their second grand final in a row. What an outstanding kick that was, Jono.
It was, and you know, he was outstanding all night. And I think what it was on the night was the Brisbane Lions ball movement, their ability to win the ball in the half-back. Starcevic and a few of the other guys brought it through, but they were able to link up and actually get run from behind. And Rayner was one of those players as well. He was able to run them from behind. And as we see in this vision of play here, they just kept this ball alive. And you know, Starcevic was involved here and coming through. It was just electrifying hands. Berry over to Starcevic again, and then they were able to get it forward, and Archie, the man who you spoke about earlier, really just popped up at the right times. And as we said, the YOKAYI moment was Cam Rayner, and this could have almost been a YOKAYI moment as well. He was outstanding through the night as well to get them over the line.
Yeah, that second term was full of excitement, wasn't it? It certainly certainly provided so much value, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds this weekend in the grand final, the weekend that we wait for all year. Now, this will be 125 years since these two sides have met in a grand final. Since Fitzroy versus South Melbourne. It was 27 Fitzroy, 26 South Melbourne, and it's going to be one for the ages this weekend, and your boys back in it again, Jono.
They certainly are, and I think at the moment with the Swans, I think what they'll do, they'll pretty much worry about their own game. They won't worry about too much about the Lions. I wouldn't have thought, Krakouer. They've got to, top of the ladder by just playing their own game style throughout the year. Yes, the last time they played, the Lions did get up, but the Swans are a little bit undermanned. But it certainly sets up for a great contest throughout this grand final week, and there's going to be so much debate in who wins and why. And obviously, there's a few outs for the Lions. Maybe big Oscar McInerney with his dislocated shoulder as well. So, and then the Swans, you've got McDonald at the same time as well, whether he's going to get up, and also Papley with that heel as well.
Well, you spoke about the last time that these two sides met was in round 19 at the Gabba, and Brisbane ended up getting up by 2 points. It was a real arm wrestle, this game, wasn't it, Cracks?
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. At half-time, though, with Papley, he was down, he had a moon boot on, and Dane Rampy got substituted out of the game as well. And Haywood kicked this really nice goal in the last term, but he was hobbling around on one foot as well. But as you did speak about, it's still an outstanding side. They've got a great system, they've got great method, and they've got great players all around the ground. It took it right up to the Lions, but this man, Kalachi, was able to kick the sealer on the left peg again, Jono, if you don't mind. That was a beautiful finish from 45 metres out, just a beautiful snap there, but they got the job done by 2 points. But if that's anything to go by, hopefully the grand final is something that we're going to be able to watch, and it's going to be a nice close game as well.
Yeah, it is, and it sets up, this is the best week going around, because people throw from, why this team should win, why they're not going to win. But I think at the moment, for the Lions to win, they're going to have to get this man up and about and get the ball in his hand, which is Dane Zorko. He was outstanding over the weekend. 35 or 33 years of age. He's got there in the tackle, and his ability to use the ball off half-back and split up the defence of any opposition and their midfield was outstanding throughout all year, but especially on the night. He's going to have to be a key in the grand final for the Lions.
Well, 100% that is. But you talk about the game last week, but I don't want to talk about it too much, but even against the Giants, he was quiet in the first half. Once he got his hands with the footy, they were able to get back into the game, get their game plan going, and he's an absolute star. So Luke Parker did a negating role on Alir last week, which is you'd probably think he wouldn't be the man for it, but he did it really well. Or James Jordan, he could be the man to be able to go to Zorko as well. We know that Billy Frampton did the job on Harris Andrews last year as a negating role as a defensive forward. So that could be something that the Lions coaching staff look at. The Sydney coaching staff look at.
Well, how do you see it unfolding before we wrap up today? We've got two really great sides here, and it could go either way.
Look, I think the Swans just play their own game. They'll play their own game. They'll work it through the midfield. They'll try and isolate one-on-ones, because the Brisbane defence are very good when they pair up together. They're able to come third man across and spoil the board. So I think if they can get the ball inside their forward 50 pretty quickly, they can use it. But I think the key is the Brisbane's defence. If the Brisbane's defence can get on top of the Sydney forwards, I think they come out winners on the day.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for the Swans. I think the Swans, their midfield, if they can get up and about, you've got Heaney, you've Goulden as well, and we know Chad Warner and what they're able to produce. And once they get the footy on their hands, and I love the way how they go inside with using angles as well, and they're not predictable. So I think the Swans for mine, and I think their midfield is going to be absolutely outstanding. Hopefully Logan McDonald does get up, because he was a heartbreak of 2022. He was the last. He got dropped in that grand final. So hopefully he gets up. Almardi as well. He's created some headaches up forward. So I think the Swans for mine. But it's going to be an absolutely outstanding game and a close one.
Well, that is it from us at YOKAYI Footy Shorts for this season. It's been a privilege to share the desk with you, Chris Johnson and Andy Krakouer. And we can't wait for a very exciting weekend of football, of course, the grand final. So thank you for tuning in and supporting us all season. And that's it. We'll see you next year.
For the best and most comprehensive wrap of each round, Access All Areas is the show for you, unpacking all the action and dissecting the big news from each round. Access All Areas, thanks to Crypto.com, Mondays on AFL.com.au and the AFL Live app.